What's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is Talking Oscars. I'm by myself because I'm not doing a category. I'm reacting to sort of the New York Film Critics Circle nominations. I didn't do a Gotham reaction because not every film was eligible for the Gothams. Not every film submitted, so the categories were weird. If you want my hot take on the Gotham Awards, Lily Gladstone didn't win Best Actress for that, whatever the fuck that was. She won it for Killers of the Flower Moon, but because Killers was ineligible, they voted for her for that. I don't think everybody actually watched that film. I think they just voted for her because they saw Lily Gladstone in something they could vote for her for, and they had seen Killers of the Flower Moon, so they voted for her for something else as like a strong point of, this is the actress, you know. So that's my point, and that's why I don't want to cover the Gothams, because they're still weird. Okay, you didn't fix the Gothams. Either include everything or don't include everything. The Latino Film Festival is they just had their awards last night. Latino Awards, whatever. They gave their award to Flamin' Hot. That's fine. I get it. They want to pick things that feature a strong Latinx cast and story, and Flamin' Hot totally makes sense. It was a good movie. It's also kind of depressing that is the best movie featuring a predominantly Latinx cast this year. Jessica Garcia earned Best Actor, Eva Longoria earned Best Director, so that's a lot of Flamin' Hot. It kind of just says to me, we are not making enough films for Latinx audiences this year. And then we got to Best Actress, which was Zoe Saldana for Avatar: The Way of Water, which technically is not from this year. I know it feels like it was because it ran forever and it kind of ran into this year. I'm guessing their, eligibility dates are different, but there was one performance that was eligible that everybody is talking about and is actually in a conversation and does feature a Latinx actress. And since they have no supporting category, I think that should have gone to America Ferrera for Barbie. I mean, if you want to look legitimate at all, if you want to look like, hey guys, look at what we're doing, why not pick one of the most celebrated and talked about performances of the year instead of somebody who basically did a film in front of green screen, Anyway, just food for thought, but it's also weird that they don't have supporting film, but they have supporting TV categories. So, why? Anyway, those are my thoughts on those films and why I don't really want to discuss them too much and why they're sort of irrelevant to me. But make better choices. Add supporting categories for film if you have them for TV. It's so bizarre that you have them for TV. Anyway, so yeah, the New York Film Critics Circle made some choices, and here are my hot takes. Last year, the actors that they chose, 3 of the 4 of them went on to get Oscar nominations. So when people are talking about the accuracy of New York Film Critics Circle and why they matter, it's because they have a pretty decent return ratio on their nominations. They do always like to throw one nomination in there that make people just go, what? So that they can be like, we're the New York Film Critics Circle. We don't think like other people. Ha! we do our own thing. We beat to our own drum here at the New York Film Critics Circle. That's what we do. And this year they decided to do it with a bizarre Best Actor choice. Congratulations. So he'll be the one that's not nominated this year. He is going to be the equivalent to Keke Palmer from Nope. It'll cause him to be in a conversation for 5 minutes, which is exactly what happened when Keke Palmer won for Nope, is that she was in the conversation. People were like, maybe she'll get the nomination. And I was never like, yeah, Keke Palmer is going to get nominated for Nope, guys. This is going to be the film. is going to get hurt in the nomination. But they did pick last year Colin Farrell, Cate Blanchett, and Ke Huy Quan. So they got three, and they even picked a winner. So not bad. This year, their Best Actress trophy went to Lily Gladstone for Killers of the Flower Moon. Best Supporting Actor went to Charles Melton for May December, and Best Supporting Actress went to Divine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers. A lot of people have been leaving Charles Melton off until he started winning things. I've always been mentioning as much as I can that I think Charles Melton is a strong contender for the top 5. From the very moment that I heard him at Cannes. If James Caan had never existed with the pronunciation of that last name, I would know it's Can all the time. And from the moment that he started stealing the spotlight, when you are somebody who is from the cast of Riverdale and people are pointing out your performance above Natalie Portman and Julianne Moore's, there's something, I knew that there was something there with that performance. And now, having seen May December, I totally understand it. He is very much the center of that film. And I get why he won. And I think the supporting actor race that everybody thinks is so damn sewn up is going to have to make it a spot for him. Sorry, Ryan Gosling. But I think Charles Melton's going to end up taking one of those 5 spots. And of course, Divine is in pretty much everybody's top 5, and Lily Gladstone is, I guess, in everybody's top 5. I don't know what to do with the Best Actress race. It's way too tight. It doesn't conceptually it doesn't make sense. I guess I have to start paying attention to Lily Gladstone, though. So, even more than I was. I was worried that she would vote split. Too many people would vote for her in lead and then also in supporting, but we're here, so those are my reactions to the acting categories. And Best Director went to Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer. Duh. I don't know what else to say about that. My problem isn't that people... When I talk about Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer winning the Oscar, my problem has nothing to do with the fact that I believe people don't like Oppenheimer or that critics don't like Oppenheimer. My problem is that the Academy has systematically shown over the years very little love for Christopher Nolan. He's only ever had 2 Best Picture nominees, and he's only ever been nominated for Best Director once. He's only ever had 1 acting nominee come from any of his films. And he's considered to be one of the most prolific directors of our time. So when people start talking about Oppenheimer getting 10, 13, 12, 9, whatever nominations, I'm like, guys, there is nothing to suggest that this voting body is all of a sudden going to, ejaculate on Christopher Nolan. I don't know how else to say that, because he's just so... every time Christopher Nolan does something, everybody goes crazy for it. And then you get to the Oscars, and the Oscars are just like... I guess we can give it a Best Sound nomination. I don't know. It ends up being incredibly underwhelming, the amount of nominations he actually gets for these films. His films are ranked. There's a bunch of them in the IMDb top 250. They're hits at the box office. I mean, the fact that Tenet made as much money as it did, and it's considered to be like his disappointment, is kind of hilarious. But he is an incredibly consistent director who's gotten so much out of his performances. And he just consistently is ignored by the Academy, regardless of how good the film is, regardless of how much praise we get or give. The Academy just doesn't register. So he could win every single Best Director trophy up until the Oscars, and I would totally not be shocked at all if he wasn't even nominated. That's literally how I feel about the Academy Awards and Christopher Nolan. Is that I need them to put up or shut up. I mean, I'm trying to give benefit of the doubt to Christopher Nolan and Oppenheimer, and that the Academy will finally wake the fuck up, but they have given me no indication. It's like trying to be like, hey, guess what, guys? I did my nominations this year, and I put 17 people of color out of 20 in the acting categories. What about that situation? What about the voting body of the Academy has led you to believe that that is going to be something that they would ever do? Currently, what have they done to earn that sort of trust? So when you say, yeah, it's going to be Christopher Nolan's year, they have really shortchanged him. Not just like casually, where he's been strung along for years, like DiCaprio, who earned like an ass ton of nominations before winning. No, this is literally somebody who has one director nomination. So this is not the same thing. Finally, for Dunkirk, like of all of the films he got a director nomination for, it was Dunkirk. So this is not somebody who gets the kind of praise. So, I mean, yes, I have no doubt that more critic circles will pick Christopher Nolan, but I don't care. It has no bearing on whether or not the Academy will vote for him. I'm dead serious. Every single category win could go to Christopher Nolan between now and the Oscars, and I would not be surprised if he wasn't even nominated. That's how little faith I have in the voting body at the Academy. And as far as Killers of the Flower Moon winning for Best Picture, I think it's an incredibly interesting choice, because this race has been seen mostly as being like Oppenheimer, The Holdovers, Poor Things, with some people trying to say that maybe Barbie could get it. Maybe there's still enough love for Past Lives. Maybe there's, American Fiction's really good. But Killers has kind of dropped a little bit out of the conversation to where it's like, maybe it could be Killers. So it was nice to see that Killers won something, was at the top for something. So that was nice. Animated feature not going to Across the Spiderverse, considering how critically acclaimed that film was, and then instead going to The Boy and the Heron, I thought was interesting, because if you listen to a lot of other YouTubers, they're like, well, Across the Spider-Verse is just going to win everything. It didn't. Never underestimate the power of Hayao Miyazaki. And he's old. I actually had him in my Best Director predictions for a while. I was like, man, if we're going to ever nominate somebody from an animated feature for director, it feels like it has to be Miyazaki. The reviews have been like it is for most directors of his age range. Yes, it is. It did not top the film he is most well known for, and that is the problem with people like him and Scorsese and Spielberg and Ridley Scott. It's just that these guys, they've been around for so long, and how do you top some of those classics? You just can't. You just can't do it. It's not something that's possible. They can release good films. They can release great films, but they have films out there that have defined a generation. So it's so hard to say that they have just made their newest piece, and it is also their best piece. This is not going to happen. So, but I did think that was an interesting choice. I love Anatomy of a Fall winning for Best International Feature, considering France didn't choose it. I think that's hilarious. It just goes again to show the strength that Anatomy of a Fall has as a film, that it continued to win in categories. It's the same thing that we had last year with RRR, and why RRR came so close. I think it came really close to getting a Best Picture nomination. It wasn't the choice. It didn't choose RRR, and France didn't choose Anatomy of a Fall. And will that backfire on France? I've heard a lot of good things about The Taste of Others, and maybe it won't. So we'll see, but it'd be kind of hilarious if it did, because obviously everybody loves Anatomy of a Fall. Documentary, I don't pay too much attention to who wins documentary. to be totally honest, until the shortlist comes out, because again, this is another branch of the Academy that can go for themselves. They they refuse. There have been so many major controversies over documentaries that haven't even made the shortlist over the years. Not just like not getting nominated, but didn't even make the shortlist of incredibly popular documentaries that were critically acclaimed, that people actually went to the theaters to see, and everybody's like expecting, Won't You Be My Neighbor, and then Won't You Be My Neighbor didn't happen last year it was Goodnight Oppie, and everybody was all about Goodnight Oppie. Didn't even make the short list. So I don't know what they picked here. I don't care what they picked here. When the documentary branch tells me what 15 films I'm supposed to care about, then I'll start paying attention to whether or not any of those films can win. Otherwise, I've just been enjoying them. I mean, I'll watch the film. That's fine. I watch documentaries because I'll watch something regardless of whether or not it has a shot at Oscar or not. But I don't think winning any award, especially from a body with no overlapping voters, has any bearing in the documentary race. It doesn't even, they don't care about profile. That's the thing that I'm trying to say about the documentary branch, is there is no, if anything, giving a film a profile will reduce its chances of being nominated. The fact that a film does well at the box office seems to actually bring a film down. So, possibly winning this award hurt this documentary. Because now the documentary, it's somebody else picked it, so we can't. Just gonna have to leave that one off now. Anyway, it's just, I hate the branch so much with such a raging passion. I hate the documentary branch so much. Just over the years, you can just go through and see which films. I know we can't all get the films nominated that we want to see nominated, but it is a category that has a short list. And when you see the short list, you see your film, you see the film that everybody spent the whole year talking about, didn't even make the short list. That's when you just go, wait a minute. Not even the short list. Like, I don't even know if Still, everybody's still talking about Still, Michael J. Fox story. I'm going to bet right now doesn't make the short list. So anyway, that's the Film Critics Circle nomination. So, cinematography, I think, was given also to Oppenheimer. I do believe that was an award that was given out this time around, but they don't give out every single category. They just kind of give out certain things. So anyway, that's it. Those are my reactions to the New York Film Critics Circle Awards. It's a boost for Charles Melton because he's not considered to be in most people's top 5 right now. He's bubbling under. He's generally like the first or second honorable mention choice for people. I do not consider him a first or second honorable mention choice. I think he is likely to be made December's only nomination. So we shall see. But yeah, it just goes to help Divine Joy Randolph in her quest to possibly win this award. And Lily Gladstone for Best Actress really puts her up in that high profile. This is a group of critics that saw Poor Things and saw that critically praised Emma Stone performance, and they still chose Lily Gladstone. I think stuff like that is important because a lot of what critics talk about when we talk about Emma Stone's performance is it time for her to win a second Oscar? And this is not the Oscars. So I don't think there was a debate among the critics circle of should we pick Emma Stone? Has she won too many critics circle awards from us? Maybe it was. Maybe they're like, oh, you know who's never won an award from us? Lily Gladstone. Congratulations. There you go. Because they did kind of recognize 4 relatively new talent. They recognize a guy I've never heard of from Passages. They recognize Lily Gladstone, who's very new and up and coming and rising. Charles Melton, who was last seen on Riverdale, and Divine Joy Randolph, who easily could have earned a nomination a couple of years ago for Dolomite Is My Name, but didn't. and it's nice to see her back around. She's been around for a hot second, but she's still nowhere near the list of choosing a major name. So they really went for boosting profiles this year. So good for them. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And I'll be back when another major Critics Circle does something interesting. So until then, I'll see you guys on the other side.